Hey everybody, thanks for joining us at the webcast today. New Java came out yesterday, so we're going to talk about centrally configuring Java for your environment. If you have questions, you can ask them on Twitter, hashtag PDQDeploy, or in the chat window. We'll be giving away some prizes for really good questions, so ask away, and we'll turn it over to Shane and Lex.
Hey everybody, I'm Lex and this is Shane. We're going to talk about how you can use PDQDeploy to centrally manage your Java installations.
Perfect. Well, let's go ahead and jump off. As Annalisa mentioned, there was a new bunch of new Javas yesterday. We're going to be focusing on Java 8, since that's really where that's where Oracle wants you to be at this point. This update 31 came out, and then we're going to just tell you how you can utilize PDQDeploy to kind of centrally manage. Just your Java configurations.
A couple things you guys need to remember. We're sysadmins, we are not Java people.
That's right.
Okay, so we'll be able to answer some sysadmin questions about Java, but if it gets past that, probably have to send you to Oracle, huh?
Yeah, I mean we're not Java developers in any sense of the meaning. All right, we're going to go ahead. Let's go out of the package library actually, because you can see there's some new updated packages. Sure enough, there's the Java 8. We are going to be focusing on Java 8, the 32-bit, even on 64-bit machines. In fact, most of our machines are 64-bit, but most of our browsers are still 32.
32-bit, yep.
And I think that's how it is with most environments. You're probably going to want the 32-bit Java. Anyway, let's import that.
Now, with that, centrally managing that, obviously you want to keep it as simple as possible. You know, one place for input, one place for to keep your.
We'll cover all
lists.
of that.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, so let's go down to there's our Java 8 update 31. To start this out, I'm actually just going to quickly deploy this to a machine called Hannibal, just so we can get that one going, because we're going to use Hannibal as some of our examples here.
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, there is a page, Oracle site, Java 8 configurations. I'm not sure if you can see that URL. It's a little long there, but these are the configuration files and the properties that you can configure, that you can centrally configure. So I'm going to scroll down here a little bit, JJ. You can see these are all the different properties, all the different policies that you can set.
In your Java configuration.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, there's several ways to do this. We're going to show you probably the way we think you'll want to do this, and that is you're going to have some Java configuration files stored centrally, meaning on a server in your environment that all of your computers have access to, basically accessible via a UNC path. So we have, on a server called Token, we have a shared directory called Java Central.
In that directory, we've got our deployment config, our properties, and then our exception
Correct.
sites.
So what do each of these files do? First of all, these files you need to have, these are the names of the files. All right, so a deployment.config, I'm just going to edit this really quick. And by the way, if you guys have any questions, pop them in. You can see this is simply a 2-line file. Here we're actually telling, and this file is actually going to be placed on each computer that runs Java. All right, this is the only file that's going to be down there as far as the configurations are concerned. So yeah, one file is required at each computer. We're going to use PDQDeploy to copy it down.
Basically, this is going to tell the path of where to find the deployment properties, and then it's going to make it mandatory.
Correct. It's pretty self-explanatory right there. So we're going to copy that down. Now, here's the deployment properties. These are just a handful that we've pulled out. Once again, we're not going to, we can't go through explaining all of the different properties in Java. That's we're not the ones to do that. We don't know, but we have kind of figured out what works in our environment. So you can see we're setting the security level to high. By the way, if you've upgraded from Java 7, there used to be 3 security levels. Now there are 2. There used to be medium, high, and very high. Now there are high and very high. So Java 7, the medium setting kind of lets you get away with a little bit more than you can in Java 8. We are saying that the security level is locked. That means the end user, even if they're administrator, they cannot change this. They cannot change this. Perfect. Let's go ahead and...
One other thing to point out, and there's our exception site, the location.
Oh, thank you
that's
very
our
much.
last line.
Thank you. We'll cover that absolutely in a moment because if you have your security level set to high or very high, you're going to have to actually approve certain sites that people can run Java applets from, and that's where that central site is going to be in the exception sites file.
Yep.
All right. And you can see there's the exception sites file there. We actually have a few of them. I'm going to edit this one just quickly. We have 3 sites right now. And we'll show you how you can modify that. All right. So first things first, let's go ahead. I'm going to minimize this. Let's get. Looks like Hannibal was successful in getting Java out. So we have a package here. It's a very, very simple package. I'm going to open it up. You can see it has one command step. This one command step simply runs Robocopy, which should exist on all of your target computers. And I'm going to also say this, Java 8 does not work on XP or 2003. So all of our targets that you're going to be working with in Java 8 world should be Windows Vista or higher.
Yep.
All right. So this simple Robocopy, all we're doing is the syntax for Robocopy. We're saying copy everything in the current directory. That's what that dot means. We'll cover that. Copy Robocopy here. This is the path that your deployment config file is going to go in all of your targets. It's going to go in the Windows directory, Sun Java deployment. So I'm going to actually quickly open up. This is on this computer. Go to Windows, Sun. Nope, there's no Sun. There's no Sun directory. So we're going to copy this to this computer. This computer is called Guinness. Oh, and by the way, before I do that, you'll notice we've added an additional file here. We've added from Java Central, the deployment.config. So it's going to go out to that source token, Java Central, grab the deployment.config, and it's going to copy that down in the deployment that you will then copy to the Windows directory.
Yep.
All right? So we'll just deploy. I'm going to deploy this to...
Let's do Hannibal and Guinness.
All right, sounds good. Actually, before we do that, let's just go to Guinness real quick.
Okay.
I want to do that. And then I'll drink a Guinness while we're waiting.
Drink a Guinness, waiting for Guinness.
All right, so it's copied that one file. Once again, we're just doing this one on the local computer. There's the Sun directory. And you'll see we've got Java, deployment, and there's the deployment config. And if we edit that, you'll see that's the same file that was copied down.
Yep.
So now my computer, Guinness, knows where to get its configuration file from that path. All right. Now, let's see. If we go, I'm going to open a new tab. I'm going to go to Java applet test. So we have one of these should work. I believe it's this one, the Othello, that we have added to the exception site. So if we click this, on a new computer, or one that's that's never run this before, you'll have to allow the plugin. So we're going to say do that.
We'll refresh.
Now, because this site was in the exception lists, they get the option to run. And then there's that Java app. It's really ugly, but it gets the point across. If we try to go to a different applet that hasn't been approved, perhaps this one, notice you're going to get this error. Your security settings have blocked an untrusted application. Your users will see that. So how do you get around that? That's where you simply take, say okay. You simply take that URL. I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to go back out to Java Central because your user will say, hey, I need to have this. Here's the URL. It's recommended that you have this set to read-only, obviously.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah, so I'm going to uncheck the read-only, and I'm going to edit this. And I'm going to add that new URL. save that. We'll set that back to read-only. I'm going to close this, open it back up. And now we have the option to run it.
Yep.
So yeah, it's going to be a one-time hit. When I say one-time, I mean you're going to have to kind of suss out which approved sites you allow Java applets to run. All right. Once again, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and pop them up. So now we're going to do the same thing.
We got a question?
Oh. Is there a way to disable the Java warning window that users will see when they run a new Java applet? That's from Stephen. Stephen, I believe the answer that you're looking for is going to be found here. I believe it's the mixed code property.
I think it is.
So we're going to go back to Java 8 configs. I'm going to do a search here. Mixed code. So let's see. I believe unfortunately, that warning window, you'll probably be able to get away, and I believe this is the property. Don't
quote us.
quote.
On this, yeah.
But I believe you'll be able to. If you, to suppress the warning, you could do hide cancel. Disable actually. Hide run will suppress the warning dialog, or disable. Now disable is, we do know of a few customers that have said that they're doing this. It's not recommended by Oracle because if there is a malicious app, then there's not going to be the warning. However, you do the math. A lot of your users are just going to say okay anyway.
True.
If the warning pops up,
They don't read it. They just,
if you trust the sites that you've added to your exception sites, then maybe a disable would work in your environment, but it's not
beware.
officially what.
Beware. That's all I got to say.
So just keep that in mind. This may, and you know what? Just by the way, you may be prompted the first time that's ever run on a computer, and then subsequent times it may not. I can't remember. Like I say, we're not Java guys, but I believe that the property is the deployment security mixed code. All right. And once again, if you have any other questions, by all means, throw them out. All right. So. If we want, once again, I'm going to close these. Now we can simply deploy this. I'm going to go to deploy once. I'm going to choose targets. I'm going to choose targets from PDQ inventory.
So we're going to go to our collection.
If you have a PDQ inventory and you're running in enterprise mode, then you have a current enterprise. You have a subscription to our collection library. These are libraries or collections that we keep up to date. So if you go to runtime, Java, there's Java 8, Java 8 32-bit. Here are the machines that have the latest Java 32. So we'll just let's grab a handful of these. We already did Guinness. Yeah, we can do Guinness again. Just throw a couple of those out there for fun. Say deploy.
Now again, the thing I like about centrally managing this is, again, it's one spot to do it. We go into the sites, the exception sites, add it there. Again, your end users may have to restart their browser, but it's nice and easy.
If you don't want to do this with PDQ deploy, you might want to do it with something like a group policy object that every time the computer starts up.
Why in the world would you ever do that, though? PDQ is just so easy.
Well, there you go.
All right.
You might want to do that. It's another option. That way, every time the computer log boots up, or if you want to set it at the user level, probably the machine, but you could copy those files out. Like I say, there's also, if you go back to that Java, back over here to this Java configuration file, you can see that the way we're doing it is not the only way that you can do it. You can set this up per user, and that's where a user level GPO might come in. We're doing everything here from the machine level. That's how I personally like to do it. You know it's out there in Windows. Your
Doesn't matter who's logged in.
Your users don't have access to modify that unless they're administrators, and you can be relatively confident that that's working.
Yeah.
All right. So you can see now we have deployed. Yeah, we just deployed the configuration file to 8 computers that had the latest Java. So now these computers can go to those sites, and if there's other sites that are not on the exceptions, it'll fail.
Yep.
All right, just like you saw in that other example. So really, that's what it is. Some takeaways. Remember, exception sites. Keep that read-only. Make that central. It's going to be kind of a one-time hit as you're compiling the list of sites that are approved, and then make sure you deploy that out to your computers. Now, some people have asked, do we have to use a separate package for this? Why can't we deploy Java and then add the configuration file? Well, you can. Now, obviously, we're not going to add that configuration file in the package library because it's going to vary per customer.
Yes.
But if you've downloaded or imported the proper vernacular, I'm going to open up the package for Java 8, Update 31. If you would like, you can just nest this other package that we've created. I'm going to move this down. Nesting means you're going to actually call within a package another package. And you see we've got the Java Configuration Central. So you could just call that one at the end. Or if you don't want to do the nesting, I'm going to delete that. Then you can do the old copy and paste.
Yep.
Oops, pardon me. I'm going to go into the Java Central. Just going to copy, go back into my Java 8, paste that in there. There you go. It's the same thing. And if you use our packages in the package library, doing either of these methods, you just have to remember to either nest or copy and paste in the next version.
Yep.
All right. If you have any questions, by all means, throw them out. It looks like we are being asked once again to place the URL out there. That's for the Java 8. By the way, there's also there's a Java 7 for those of you who are still using Java 7. Let you copy that for a second. The properties, as I'd mentioned, the properties from Java 8 to Java 7 are largely the same. There are a few exceptions. So what we've discussed today, some of these things won't work in 7. But if you're still using 7, keep in mind the public updates from Oracle are going to end after the April release.
Yep.
So you're really going to want to start focusing on moving to Java 8. I'm going to open a new tab here. Go to the Java 7 configs, and you can see this. There's that URL as well for Java 7. Or just, depending on your Google foo, just Google it.
Yeah, the great Google.
Yeah, deployment configuration properties, Java. Yeah, let me Google that for you.
Yeah.
All right. We actually did have a question. This person said they're going to watch the recorded version, that they're not going to be able to watch the live, but they're going to watch the recorded version. But they also asked another question of which package should I deploy, the alternate or the regular? Do you want to take that one, Lex?
Yeah, let's take that. So obviously, Java can be kind of complicated.
Yes.
As you've seen. And what will generally happen is if you've got like orphan versions or Javas that have not installed properly, your Java install is going to fail. When you have that, the best thing to do is just download our Java 8 alternate, where we go in and pretty much brute force get rid of any of the artifacts that are left over.
Yeah, anything that's preventing Java from
doing an install.
installing. We still recommend that you deploy Java using the regular.
Right, yes.
But if you get machines that just get 1603 error, is a fairly common one, or your users say there's a little window popping up, an error, in some of those cases, you're going to have to reboot that target and then deploy the alternate. All right, and so if you look at, you've seen us open this one. It's a fairly simple package. We've just got 5 steps, a couple of command steps. But if you look at the alternate, it's a little heavier, and this is where we go in and find keys in the registry and files on the file system that are known to cause problems. And once again, use the alternate. if your
The regular package doesn't work, yeah.
We've only had a few, and when I say few, I can think of 2 customers that have contacted us that say about 70% of their computers have a tough time installing Java regularly, so they just always use the alternate. But for the most part, the feedback we've gotten is it's around a 3 or 4% failure rate that the alternate will fix. So I hope that answers that question for when you watch this on the recording. All right, so I don't think there's any more questions or questions that we feel like answering.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Whatever. So we're going to go ahead and turn the time back over to Annalisa and JJ. Rock on.
See you guys.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us at the webcast today. If you have any questions that didn't get answered, you can always go to adminarsenal.com and hit support. And we'll see you next Thursday at the next webcast. Keep an eye out for information on that.